There's no doubt they negotiated this beforehand and said only 5 questions and probably only these topics. And if a guy like him goes off that script, I'm sure the Democratic machine crushes his future career as ABC, who knows? I don't know. We don't know exactly what happened, but to only have 5 questions and 5 fairly general questions means it was probably a lot of it was pre-negotiated, is my guess, is my speculation, knowing how careful this campaign is.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. Everything's been highly scripted. And here she is. She's asked the question she refused to answer during the debate, which was, what will you do to bring inflation down? Since you're a fan of Bidenomics. And here was her answer.
At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are 1 or 2 specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up in middle class.
That's not the question.
My mother raised my sister and she worked
We're
very
all
hard.
middle class.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers.
Her mom was a teacher and her dad was a teacher. The rest of that is BS.
But a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were...
They were college teachers.
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily.
And what does that have to do with the economy?
To the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. My opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax.
That's not helping the economy.
To start their small business. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family.
This was such a nice interview. He started out by saying, maybe you could just drill into like 1 or 2 things. I mean, it was really, it was very much a lob, but just, drill in. That means just like, give me a few. I want to hang my hat on something. I want to know if inflation's going to come down. Just give me a couple things to inspire confidence. And then no confidence was inspired. Drill in for me. Nope, I'll give you a stem winder about my lawn. With a pause. And try to be as profound and thoughtful as possible while saying absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
43 seconds. It's incredible. It's really bad.
It's bad, or maybe you have to work hard to do that. I mean, the lawn. It was like the school bus.
It's like, don't you feel me? Are you tearing up a little bit? Because, I grew up a middle-class kid just like you. Right. And when you think about it, it's the opportunity economy that we all wanted. And don't you just feel it? I'm the next generation of leadership. She went on. When asked, are you like Joe Biden? Here's another minute you have to suffer through.
So given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are 1 or 2 spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life. My focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years.
You won't be in office in the next 10 or 20 years, lady.
I'll let you guys go off on the aspirations and dreams for a second, but I do think when she says investing, so here's the economist in me, when she says investing, what I want you to hear is what she's saying is the government spending money. That's like the progressive code word for spending. It's investing. But of course, just like we saw under the Biden administration, they don't know how to invest. They're not good at investing. If they were good at investing, they wouldn't be in government. They would be in the private sector investing money, but they're in government. And in fact, there's almost nobody in the Biden administration who has ever done any investing. And there's nobody around her who's done any investing.
Right, she won't even identify what she wants to invest in. She said, we're going to invest in areas that need a lot of work. Well, what areas? I mean, it's just...
No, we're focusing on the aspirations and the dreams.
We're investing in aspirations and dreams.
Correct. And at this moment,
how much will that cost me?
Some of that stuff we could take for granted years ago that we can't take for granted anymore. That's what she's talking about. She's investing in the hopes and the dreams that we used to take for granted. Do you take that to the bank?
So somebody with business experience listened to that, who invests in real things and had a response. This is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
She had a terrible interview today with the Philadelphia TV station. A big word salad. She just kept talking. She had no idea what the hell she was saying. She reminded me of Sleepy Joe Biden. Fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts. And we will have no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. No tax on Social Security. And then we wheeled out a great one, and I actually think this is going to be fantastic for the country as well as the worker, because a lot of people are going to be working overtime. And just yesterday I announced that there will be no taxes on overtime. No taxes on overtime.
Well, set your watch to it. In about 3 days, Kamala Harris will announce she's for no tax on overtime.
Yeah, probably, right? You know, it's interesting, though, when you think about it, if you're going to run for president, you would think you've put a lot of thought, especially if you're a vice president already, you've put a lot of thought into why you want to be the president. And it's just really still, I mean, seeing that interview is just a reminder that this is somebody who's not put any thought into it. It's just the idea, I want to be the president, but no thought about what it means. And then contrast that with Donald Trump. Whatever you say, this guy, you know what he wants to do. He's for the working class. He's got, you know, the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I'm going to close the border, which will actually help worker wages rise because they're now competing with, you know, probably 20 million, you know, illegal immigrants. You know what he's for, and he's thought about what he wants to do to move the country forward, whether you agree with it or not. It's shocking to see somebody running who has put no thought into it. She could, I mean, yeah.
It's because she was just handed it.
Just a few months ago, there was a lot of speculation about, or multiple months ago, about getting her off the ticket. They're like, she's a total drag. 100% staff turnover, doesn't prepare, notoriously thin-skinned, doesn't know the issues. Well, that's all coming to bear now. Right. So that's why it's shocking that she actually did an interview.
Do you think this interview would hurt her?
I do, because
that interview's going to help.
People on the left are asking for her to do the thing that you've said. Give me like a detail. Give me something that I can evaluate. She doesn't do it. I think the hard part for her is her plan fundamentally is spending your money. Trump's plan fundamentally is you keeping your money. It's harder to sell, I want to take your money, than it is to say, I want to give you your money back, which is why she can't say the quiet part out loud, and which is why Bernie Sanders therefore has to say, don't worry. When she gets power, she'll do the thing that all the progressives have wanted her to do.
Again, the aspirations and the dreams right here. I'm dreaming to turn to some headlines, and that's what I'm going to do right now. We're learning.
What up, YouTube? Thank you for watching. I appreciate you logging into my channel and listening to the debate this morning about Kamara Harris. And I would also like to point out that this is the same lady during the presidential election run 4 years ago was kicked out of the first round, also called Joe Biden a racist before he put her on her campaign because he knew if he had a black lady on his campaign, he would win the election. This is the same lady for the last 3 years that you've all been debating and worrying about, that she is going to be the president if Joe Biden falls out and what our country was going to go through if she became president. This is the same lady that did not run for president this year, and she was literally given the ticket after Joe Biden forced everybody out of the election, and then he dropped out and then gave her the term. So when they're talking about her not knowing what she's doing or what she's talking about, it's because she was not ready to be president. She is not ready to be president, and her mom is a neosurgeon, and her dad is a scholar, a Marxist scholar in Stanford. Her mom's a neosurgeon in Berkeley. Her dad's a Marxist teacher in Stanford. Middle class, my ass. She had two well-raised parents that made decent paychecks. At least she had two parents, unlike a lot of us who had one parent, if we had a parent at all. Like, apparently I had a parent, but I didn't really have a parent because I raised myself. Anyways, I'm hoping that this video don't get copyrighted, so I'm trying to do like what the South Korean, Vietnamese people do, and that is just add some random-ass BS to the back of the content. I love you. Stay posted. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment for more video ideas.